Michael had spent his life surrounded by darkness, but his heart was a symphony of light. A blind violinist from a small village in Texas, he had grown up weaving melodies from the threads of silence, crafting beauty where others saw none. In his youth, Michael was not always blind. He remembered the vibrant colors of sunsets, the sparkle of dew on morning grass, and the radiant smile of his late wife, Eleanor. But a rare genetic disorder stole his vision when he was 28, shortly after Eleanor passed away. The double loss left him hollow, his life a somber echo of what it once was. For years, Michael lived in isolation, finding solace only in his violin. The instrument, a gift from Eleanor, was his refuge. Its strings carried his grief, his love, and his unspoken words. The notes he played told stories of pain, resilience, and hope, resonating with anyone who listened. One day, a young neighbor, Sarah, heard him playing through an open window. She was mesmerized and convinced him to share his talent with the world. Reluctantly, Michael agreed to audition for America's Got Talent, a decision that would forever change his life. The journey to the audition was grueling. Michael's blindness made travel daunting, and his nervousness was palpable. "What if they laugh at me?" he asked Sarah, clutching his violin case like a lifeline. "They won't laugh," she reassured him. "They'll listen, and they'll feel what I feel when you play. Pure magic." On the day of the audition, Michael stood on the massive stage, his cane in one hand and his violin in the other. The audience was silent, their eyes fixed on the frail, elderly man who seemed out of place among the dazzling lights and roaring crowds. "Tell us your name," the judge asked. "Michael," he replied, his voice trembling. "I'm 68 years old, and I'm here to share my story through music. What will you be performing for us?" "A piece I wrote for my late wife. It's called Eleanor's Lament." The room fell silent as Michael lifted the violin to his shoulder. His bow touched the strings, and the first note pierced the air like a cry from the depths of his soul. The melody was haunting, filled with anguish and longing. It painted vivid images: a young couple dancing under the stars, a woman's laughter echoing through a meadow, and the crushing silence of an empty home. Tears streamed down the faces of the audience and judges alike as Michael's music told a story that words could never capture. When the final note faded, the silence was deafening. Then, the room erupted in applause, a standing ovation that lasted several minutes. Michael stood motionless, tears streaming down his cheeks. For the first time in decades, he felt seen, not as a blind man, but as an artist, a storyteller who had touched hearts across the world. "That was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard," one of the judges said, their voice breaking with emotion. "You're going through to the next round." Michael's journey on America's Got Talent became a phenomenon. Each week, he performed original pieces, each one a chapter of his life. Audiences were captivated not only by his talent, but by his courage and resilience. Though he didn't win the competition, Michael became a symbol of hope and inspiration. His story reminded millions that even in the face of unimaginable loss, beauty and purpose could be found. In the years that followed, Michael toured the country, sharing his music and his story. He often told audiences, "I may have lost my sight, but I found my vision. And through my violin, I'll share it with the world."